All right. 20 minutes. Woo. All right.
Woo! Get ready,
Get
David.
ready,
A
David.
marathon,
Hey,
baby.
give me
Uh,
the first 10 minutes on that excellent stash you have going on.
Yeah.
oh
Like,
my gosh.
Woo!
Wow. Is it
excellent,
I
excellent
yeah,
stash.
ask me more. Tell me more about my wonderful stash.
I
Let's
get
interview you.
could fill up
What
20
do
minutes.
mustaches mean to you?
It's just a sense of identity. It gives my
Sure.
face a little bit more definition, and I think it really
Oh,
helps my small town vibe. So,
Small
There you
town
go.
type.
see, he knows. He
What
knows.
was behind the mustache?
uh,
Making-
The mustache.
it's usually skin, but I haven't shaved in a while, so I'm not sure. Maybe it's changed at this point.
Okay.
Dust.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, it's David Stark from Watcher Pass, and I'm talking to Kate Cobb, Kevin Bigley, and Scott Michael Foster about Okie, which is releasing on digital and on demand on November 8th, 2024. I'm going to talk to them right now. And while you're watching, if you can like and subscribe to this channel, that would be fantastic. I'll spend a lot. Thank you. So, thanks so much for joining me today. I've got Kate Cobb, Kevin Bigley, and Scott Michael Foster talking about Okie, which is coming to digital and on demand on November 8th, 2024. It is a coming home thriller that has a fantastic setting, a lot of very fun characters, and a nice mix of like Americana and psychological horror. If you can, think of that. I enjoyed this a lot. I thought it was a really fun movie. I thought it was beautiful, and I'm excited to talk to you. So thanks so much for joining me.
Love
Thank
it.
you, David.
Of course. So, first question is for Kevin. You came up with this story. What childhood trauma are you working out? What hurts you about your hometown that you really are
How
running
much
from?
time do you
Just
have?
a 20
Less than 20 minutes now. We'll see.
Here we
And
go,
is that
buddy.
trauma hidden behind that beard, that beautiful, gorgeous beard?
It's just a lot of bruises from getting the shit beaten out of me by bullies. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think it was a lot of we talk about a relationship that you have with your hometown and kind of how there's this duality, like there can be this comfort that you have, and then it can take on an adversarial role, especially when you grow up in a rural environment. Although I'm imagining the city thing, it like can be there too. But at least speaking from coming up a small town, felt like you just felt a little bit, especially a short kid, short
Short King, I believe is what they
Short
call it now.
king.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No one
that's
was.
right.
Oh, if someone had called me that.
Yeah,
I
now
was 5 foot in freshman year of high school. I was a little
Oof.
you
man.
really missed the window because he's no longer that short. So you really never got to be a short king at any point. You were just a short kid. And then
Now I'm just a king.
Evolved.
No wonder I got the hell beaten out of me. Yeah, I think it like you have this adversarial, just this chip on your shoulder. You don't want to be overlooked. Yeah, it was that. I think too that there weren't a whole lot of resources. So you are looking for ways to express yourself and not finding them, and so when you finally do go into a creative career, you're connecting with kind of where you came from, but you kind of question your relationship with it a little bit and how you use it. So yeah, I think there's a lot of unpacking I'm doing with my therapist at the moment. Dave, who's gonna watch the movie, which will be interesting.
I am just curious, what is more expensive, a therapist or an indie film? I don't know which is the bigger
Pretty
financial
close.
sink.
Depends on
We're pretty
time, but
close.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're getting there.
And given kind of, the character of Louie and how he used his small town in his work, I mean, is that reflective of you? Did you like base characters on, people that you knew or situations when you were writing this small town story?
There were some I tried to play against it. I gave a lot of like little small town shout outs from from people I grew up with. Kevin Miller, that character who in the film is this like Michael played by Michael Waller, who is kind of I explained him in the script as like rodential. He's like this little guy who's just like scurrying after them and like, wait guys, wait up. And is just always made fun of. That name was Kevin Miller was my best friend growing up, and he is like a physicist.
Oh
In
wow.
Indiana, it's the opposite. So I was like, can I use your name? And there's a couple like Dale Kimporus and all these guys that I grew up with that I just kind of mentioned, and I made sure if I did reference them, they had the opposite, like
he's
career,
doing the
whatever.
best he can to not be
Yeah.
Louie.
I can't because
Uh,
that is just my worst fear. But I think so you can't help but bring a lot of like elements of yourself and people you know, how you grew up and all that too. So it's a very meta thing that the writer is trying not to be like the writer in the film.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just gonna go back and decode all the coolest characters and find out which of your friends growing up you didn't like, because you said you did the opposite.
Put them on blast, interview them.
There we go.
Yeah.
And so, Kate, when did you come on board? Were you always set to direct this as Kevin was writing this, or did you, just kind of like fall into your lap?
Yeah, nothing has fallen into my lap.
Especially not now, especially not in the times we live in.
Especially not now. Nothing is falling into a female lap, other than trouble. So
And I want that. Never mind. I'm not gonna say that line. Never mind. I was gonna say what I was gonna say. That could be controversial. So, okay.
Listen, we've been doing this all day, and we've been walking a line. So yeah, basically, what Kevin and I are married. We've been together for 10 married years, starting tomorrow is our 10th wedding anniversary. And also the release of our film. So do that as a present to us. Watch it. So we basically had, when we first moved to LA, we had been doing a lot of sketch comedy, filming a lot of shorts together and all of that stuff. And we loved working together and working with our friends. And we decided, after kind of going our separate way career-wise and both kind of working on different projects, we really wanted to come back together and do something together again with the people that we love working with. And so we thought, let's do a short. Let's do some sort of a short. And we were like, what can we get for free? And we thought a lot about his hometown. And so he wrote a short film based on where we could shoot something. So we gathered together a little bit of our own money, and we took all of our friends, and we went out and we shot the short film. And it's basically the same story. We used that short film as a proof of concept to get funding for the feature. So he wrote the feature. And so really it's been a collaborative effort since the beginning. I mean, Louie was written for Scott to play. So we really were, it was whole from the beginning, really.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I was going to ask, like, were you always had to play characters? Sounds like you were, because it's an indie film and you don't have enough money to pay more than like one or two actors. So might as well.
That is the only reason that we
And it pads your stats, right? Like you get 2 or 3 different IMDb entries for one film. I mean, why not, right? Like,
listen, if I'm always trying to do anything, it's pad
the stats, baby.
Okay?
I think the credit roll is just like written by Kevin Bigley, starring Kevin Bigley,
really like
produced by Kevin Bigley.
Over and over again.
Yes. Fitness instructor Kevin Bigley, just like over and over.
Yeah.
On set, fitness
Animal
consultant,
wrangler.
So
expert Kevin Bigley.
Everything. Small town consultant Kevin Bigley.
Yeah, right.
So Scott, like, they are married. How are you involved in this family? Are you their child? Are you like a throuple, I guess, is a thing that they call? Like, how are you in here?
I definitely feel like a child in this relationship. I feel like I'm the one who's just like, no, don't get your hands off that.
Scott, no.
Scott, no, over here.
Scott,
that's the energy of our relationship. No, Kevin and I did a movie, in Utah together. That's how we met. We had a good time during the pandemic, which was crazy. But then, he approached me and said, do I want to do this short film in his hometown? Like, the year after that. And I said, yeah. And so it just sort of steamrolled from there. And I was, pleased to find out that they got funding to do a feature based on that short film, and that we were going to do it all over again and on a bigger scale in Illinois this time. So that's how I got involved, and I'm thankful for it, you guys. I'm thankful for it.
Our little boy,
all grown up. They got funding based on your incredible performance, I imagine.
Yes.
Among other things.
I think it's because I was cheap and they knew it.
Hey, you know what? Price performance, right? Price performance is all that matters.
Exactly.
So it sounds like the short was filmed in your hometown, Kevin. And then where did you find the setting for this, the larger film? Was it near your hometown? Did you go out location scouting, or?
No, we ended up, the whole plan was to make this short that we could use, right, as a proof of concept. So when we talked to Chicago Media Angels, it was about shooting in Northern California, but they were like, hey, we would love if you could move this to Illinois. And so we were, of course, like, great, we can adapt that pretty easily because rural Illinois feels very similar. However, we didn't know any of the locations, and we were only going to have like 2 weeks of prep. So we had to get over there quickly and hit the ground running. So yeah, it was definitely
a challenge for sure. But Illinois has some like incredible. Illinois has everything. It's got the city. It's got the rural vibes. It truly, people don't know how much Illinois has as far as like filmmaking potential. And so it was easy once we got there. It was just like an embarrassment of riches of places to choose from.
Yeah, for sure. And I love the look of Illinois. I feel like California has rural areas. I grew up in California, I know that, but something about like Midwest Americana feels, I don't know, more true to the story. So
yeah, more expansive for sure. And getting to know these little towns, DeKalb for sure, but like Rochelle and Creston, it was really, really cool to do
that we just shot another movie there.
Yeah,
we just finished a few weeks ago. So
we love it.
Yeah, we love it. It's the greatest.
Another psychological horror movie, or
no?
Oh, all right.
The other way. It's a sister road trip movie.
Oh, good, excellent.
Yeah.
Wow. Fight on.
It might take on a different meaning now, but
as they do.
We don't know where they're road tripping to Europe.
Say it's called Sanctuary, is what it's called.
So
Kevin, you grew up in a small town. Kate or Scott, did either of you grow up in a small town, or are you like big city folk who crap on the small towns?
Yeah, I love crapping on small towns. No, I'm from Chicago. So, but I grew up in a town that's 20 minutes out of the city called Elmhurst, and it's not a small town, but it's a suburban town. We right now live in a small town outside of Los Angeles in the mountains. So, I love the small town feel, but I think it was like we both grew up really blue collar, and so that was kind of the biggest similarity that I had.
Yeah.
And Scott, are you one of the city elites?
Well, I was born not far from Kate, actually, outside of Chicago, in a suburb like 30 minutes west. But I kind of bounced around. I was in outside of Chicago in Illinois, outside of Chicago in Indiana, Dallas. I've been in LA for 20 years now, so. I don't know if I could call myself a big city or a small town guy. I feel like an amalgam of all of them, really. Wow. I like to use words from the script in my daily life to sound smart.
It's always prepping for the sequel, right? You just gotta be in character.
Right. Or the video game. We're talking about maybe doing the video game.
I would play that game. That sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, I just want to go to the fair and just like hang out and see what's going on.
Yeah. Whole shroom sequence. Anyway, no, I think, like I said this before, I think home for me is very much elusive because it's ever changing. It's here. It's when I'm with my family. It's I don't have the like town that I go back to, and even the town where I did go to school and grew up, like everyone's gone. No one lives there anymore. So I don't really have that like hometown identity.
I don't know, man. I'm from nowhere.
As a wanderer. You gotta be smoking a cigarette when you say that. You have like a leather jacket on.
His motorcycle's just off to the side. Anyway, I'll get out of here.
So, like, pulling from that, did you have to do anything to like get back into character? I mean, your character's kind of like, city, but then has some roots back here. Did you have to do anything to like get into this character? Or do you just kind of draw from some of the places that you've been and just spend a little bit of time in the town to kind of get a feel for it?
I did a lot of ayahuasca in the dark to do this character.
Acting tools, I believe.
Yeah. I read a lot of books. No, I
didn't do
shit. I didn't prep at all. I showed up the day before, and I said, "Where's my trailer?"
And they're like, it's that rundown trailer over there, but it's actually owned by someone else. So,
I was like, oh right, this is an indie.
And Scott, I loved your character when you kind of like freeform rapped as your persona. Like, are you an underground rapper? Because it was smooth, it was nice. Like I liked it.
No, not at all. I was sweating bullets trying to prepare for that. What's funny too is the sample I got was Kevin rapping.
Yeah.
So I was like trying not to do a Kevin impression. It's like when you get a sample, you're like, well, I can't match the person.
I think we should talk about Kevin's rap history.
So this came from my friends and I doing this, and actually that was the beat that we used. because our buddy was like, I'm gonna get it. He actually ended up becoming a music producer, but he made
That's awesome.
he was actually serious about it. We all were not, but like we like recorded ourselves, and I was like, it's just so I wanted to make something where it's like, what's the quickest way you could have to revert back, and like having to link up with like your former self, and even these like old references like the Michael J. Fox and the but yeah, I get throughout the festival stuff, that is my favorite part of like watching in the screenings, people watch him rap.
In the film, their rap group is called the Glocksmiths because it's every word has Glock in it.
Yeah.
And I was curious, what was the name of your
Cuddy Albatrosses was the name of it. Yeah. It was like area thing.
Cuddy Albatross, and then there was another one where he would rap with a guitar, and that rap group was called
Beats and Strings, because you had
boy,
wow,
you had the beats, and then you also had the strings.
Ahead of your time, genre blending rap rock artist Kevin Bigley. Wow.
Look at the film. I think that's what you get. There's a lot of genre blending. I've always been interested in it.
Just basically Linkin Park before Linkin Park.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was a lot of that.
I hope somebody does a deep dive on the internet once they see this and tries to find beats and strings.
You know what's tough is we never were popular enough to get a recording contract or even access to a recording.
Shocking.
That's just that small town bias, man. You gotta move to the big city to get those contracts.
It's so unfair. The elites, they're keeping us small town rappers down.
That's the next movie documentary on small town rap sensation beats and strings.
Be rapping. It's all rapping, and it's all Scott.
It's
like lemonade except for Louie.
Well, you got the Glocks down. You're good.
Yeah, that was an homage to the Locksmiths.
William Glock.
So I know we have a limited time. I'm gonna switch to a lightning round of just lightweight questions about the film. I want to see how your personal experiences map to things in the movie. Feel free to skip any of them. I won't be offended.
Quick answers.
All right. First question: when was the last time you went to your hometown? I know, Scott, you don't have a hometown, so you can pass if you want to, but
in his heart, it's in his heart. I was there recently because we just shot another movie in Illinois, so I was just there like a week ago.
Mine was last year. Go ahead.
Oh, very nice. When was the last time that you talked to your high school sweetheart?
Ooh, I was too lame to have one. Go ahead.
I also was too lame to have one. Scott.
All right. Acting.
I don't think I don't think I have.
It's whenever they have to talk about their love child. Okay,
that's true. It's and when he has to give money because he's a successful actor. The main character was called Lucky Louie in this film. Do you have any childhood nicknames that people call you?
Oh man.
Mine was Biggie Smalls because of Bigley, and very not nice. So Bigley. My football coach called me Not So because I was not so Bigley.
Oh,
but you showed him. You worked out. Maybe took some supplements. We don't know, and you look great.
Several.
And he's in his 60s, and I'm gonna find him.
I didn't have any nick. I mean, I had nicknames that I can't repeat on here because they were just awful. But
Skank.
Yeah, most of it was just straight bitch. I mean, that was basically what it was. So yeah, I wasn't cool enough for nicknames either. Okay, next.
Sounds like you were bringing truth to power. All right. I guess we've already heard from Kevin's. Do either of you have rap nicknames, or what would your rap nickname be?
Oh, come on, Scott. What would it be?
Mine's Papa Smurf.
Nice. All right.
My initials are SMF. People called me Smuff. That morphed into Smurf. And so now I'm Papa Smurf.
Murph into Smurf.
Murphed into Smurf.
That sounds like a good line for your upcoming movie.
By the way, high school nickname, I used to get called Stupid Motherfucker because
I mean, I bet that's kind of a term of respect these days, right?
Like
they were jealous of you.
I wear it as a badge of honor.
So SMF move.
Kate, do you have what's your rap nickname?
Please don't.
That doesn't have the right ring. It might be tough to rhyme, but I guess.
Please don't rapper. It would be Parappa the Rapper. Do you guys remember Parappa the Rapper?
I do. It's classic.
I mean, that's why please don't rap.
It has to have Glock in it.
Okay. I can't. This is too scary for me. I can't with the rapping. I don't like it.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Did you have a name though for yours, or was it?
No.
So it was just the name was Cuddy Albatross, but it wasn't like you were.
Yeah,
Cuddy,
no,
it was
no.
Albatross?
Well, no.
Buddy Albatross.
Yeah, one of them was Ryan's was Dr. Gloctopus.
Oh, so he's
I texted.
Well, that was a real one.
I was like, this is the dumbest question I could ever ask you. Can I take this name? And he was like, absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. And the last question. This film, everyone's waiting for the county fair. Everyone's waiting for it. Did your hometowns have any big events that you were waiting for?
Fair. We had a county fair.
Yeah, same here.
Yep. And I actually raised a pig for the fair.
To butcher or to show? Or
yes,
both?
yes. To show, to butcher. Yeah.
He raised a pig. He named the pig, and then he ate the pig.
Well, you do get 10%. 10% of the meat kicked back.
What did you name him? What did you name your pig?
His name was Duracell because he was a Duroc pig. I don't know why that felt linked to me.
He named an animal that he then
My
ate,
buddy
I just can't.
My buddy named his
I would
Energizer.
not be able to do it.
No, I don't like that. I don't like
We had
that.
Duracell and Energizer.
I mean, he knows he raised it right. I mean, but it doesn't sound like this pig went going and going and going. It sounds like he kind of went for Elizabeth.
I
Yeah.
raised him right, and I raised him delicious, David.
Oh my
There you go.
God.
I love it.
Divorce.
Oh.
Straight up.
That
Psycho.
skill will be useful in the coming apocalypse. Like being able to raise
Right.
livestock, butcher.
Right.
I mean, I would hold on to this one.
We're gonna need meat. That's not human.
Well, we'll see what happens, right? Like at some point.
A little bit of a mix.
How we got into cannibalism.
No
here in
one
this
wants to
interview.
know how the sausage is made, literally.
Exactly. It just tastes delicious. Scott, did your hometown have any sort of, well, your nebulous ephemeral hometown, did it have any events?
We don't do events at my hometown. Okay.
The event is when I arrive.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. No, that didn't happen.
My hometown's my bike.
Well, you can see this wonderful homage to hometowns, this interesting like blend of Americana and psychological horror. I really like this movie. I thought it had a really fun setting, really great cast, and that interesting kind of mix. So you can all check out Okie, which is releasing on digital on demand November 8th, 2024. This is Kate Cobb, Kevin Bigley, and Scott Michael Foster. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you. This was so much fun. That was Kate Cobb, Kevin Bigley, and Scott Michael Foster talking about Okie, which is coming to digital and on demand on November 8th, 2024. It is a coming home thriller that has a fantastic setting, a fun cast, and an interesting mix of Americana and psychological horror. If you like this interview, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.